You already knew I'd choose him if he ever asked me, she said, smirking across the dinner table. Her words hit me like a blade I hadn't seen coming. I didn't answer. I didn't move. I let the silence stretch, let the quiet hum of the dining room swallow her smugness. My hands folded neatly on my lap. Calm. Polite. Empty inside. Her parents laughed, unaware of the knife twisting in my chest. I smiled faintly, thanked them for dinner, and stood. Slow, deliberate. Each movement measured. I walked past her smug little grin, and out the door. I didn't shout. I didn't beg. I didn't cry. I went home. Her things were still scattered across the apartment, her perfume lingering like a memory I would soon exorcise. I packed everything, every shoe, every dress, every careless token she'd left behind. Outside the door, neatly stacked, locks changed, key discarded. I sat in the dark, letting the reality sink in. She thought this was a game, a joke, a flirtation with another life she wanted to explore without consequences. But she underestimated the quiet, the patient, the calculated. I remembered the subtle things first. The late texts she claimed were work, the sudden excuses, the way her eyes flickered when I entered the room. Small betrayals, barely noticeable, dismissed as paranoia. But now it all aligned. Her smirk wasn't arrogance. It was victory in her mind. Mine would come later. I checked my phone. Nothing unusual. But that was her strength. Trust misused, questions deflected, the illusion of innocence maintained. I let the silence grow heavy in my own mind, cataloging the details, connecting dots she thought were hidden. I watched from shadows she didn't see. A dinner that wasn't just dinner. A laugh that wasn't just laughter. A glance too long. A touch too careful. Each piece of the puzzle whispered the same truth. She was living two lives, and I was the last to know. But I didn't act. Not yet. My calm was my weapon, my patience, my shield. Every step she took outside this room, every confident smile, every smirk, I stored it, layered it, built it into the plan she'd never anticipate. And when the time came, it wouldn't be loud, it wouldn't be messy, it would be precise, surgical. She would see the truth, and she wouldn't even recognize it coming. For now, I breathed. Cold, steady, detached. My mind replayed her words, her smugness, the subtle betrayals. And I waited. Because revenge, carefully crafted, tastes far sweeter than anger. She came home smirking. The door clicked open, and I watched from the shadows, letting her confidence fill the empty apartment. She didn't see the change, didn't notice the lock, didn't notice her world had subtly shifted under her feet. Then her eyes caught the porch. Her things, every carefully chosen piece of her life, laid out like evidence. Shoes lined up, bags stacked, her favorite scarf draped over a chair. And in the corner, the small envelope. My handwriting. You said you'd choose him. I chose me. Her smirk faltered, slowly, painfully. She stepped forward, then froze, as if the air itself refused to move for her. She whispered my name, a question wrapped in disbelief. But I didn't answer. I didn't need to. My presence was enough. Cold, quiet, unmoving. I thought, she stammered. I watched, detached, every reaction stored for memory, every falter catalogued. Her words crumbled before they left her lips. She wanted chaos, confrontation, anger. I offered none, only truth, only the quiet reflection of her own betrayal. The text messages, the late nights, the excuses, Every lie she crafted to protect herself now pressed back onto her, reflected in the stillness of her eyes. And I watched her break, not with anger, not with yelling, but with the slow, creeping horror of realizing the game was over and she had lost. I waited until she understood, not just intellectually, but viscerally. Every plan she thought she controlled, every secret she believed was safe, now exposed. And in that exposure, she had nothing left. No tears, no pleas, only the shiver of realization and the cold clarity of her defeat. I stepped closer, calm, measured. "You already knew I'd choose him," I said softly. "I already knew you'd betray me. And I acted accordingly." Her mouth opened, closed, opened again. Silence. Then retreat. She turned, the weight of understanding heavy on her shoulders, and left. I didn't follow. I didn't gloat. Revenge isn't a scream. It's a whisper that echoes long after the betrayer leaves. The apartment was quiet. My heart was steady, cold, detached. The storm inside had settled, replaced by a precision that only comes from knowing you controlled the outcome. Not the chaos. She had chosen. I had chosen. And now, the only thing that mattered was clarity. Power reclaimed. Mind unclouded. I sat in the dark, letting the silence settle like snow over a grave. Not hers. Mine. Finally I smiled. Small, almost imperceptible. Not for her, not for victory, but for the truth I carried alone. She was gone, and I remained.